Hello everyone, guess what time it is? It's reading time, woo! Alright, and today we are in chapter 19 of Wayside School is Falling Down. Alright, so it says, forever is never. Allison was still stuck in the 19th story. 14 2-minute breaks had passed. It's dictionary time, said Mrs. Zarvez. Everyone got out a dictionary. Allison found a dictionary in her desk too. What are we supposed to do with it? She asked. Memorize it, said Nick. That's impossible, said Allison. No, it's easy, Virginia assured her. You memorize one word at a time until you get a whole page. Then you get to go to the next page. How many words have you memorized? Asked Allison. I'm almost finished with the B's, Virginia said proudly, and I've only been doing it for 32 years. Allison opened her dictionary. Mrs. Jewell's class, she suddenly remembered. She sighed with relief. For the last 6 days, she's been trying to remember where she came from. In her mind, she went through everybody in her former class. She didn't want to forget again. As she thought about each person, tears filled her eyes. She missed them very much, even Jason. They were all so wonderful in their own special way. When the 2-minute break came, she talked to Mark again. He was the only person in the class who still seemed to have a brain. How did we get here? She asked. Maybe we're dead, said Mark. Maybe we died and went to... This isn't heaven, said Allison. That wasn't what I was going to say, said Mark. Allison felt a chill run up her spine. She looked at Mrs. Zarvez, and Mrs. Zarvez smiled back to her. But she seemed so nice, said Allison. Could someone as nice as her really be the devil? I don't know, said Mark. She always gives good grades. What would happen if we didn't do our work? Asked Allison. We have to do our work, said Mark. Why? Asked Allison. What's Miss Zarvez going to do to us? Keep us after school? I don't know, said Mark. Teachers can always find new ways to punish you. They're experts at it. Your 2 minutes are up, boys and girls, announced Miss Zarvez. Everyone back to work. Allison returned to her seat. She tried to figure it all out, but she had so much busy work to do, she didn't have time to think. That's her plan. Allison suddenly realized she shivered as it all came together for her. Mrs. Zarvez assigns us lots of busy work, so we don't have time to think. She makes us memorize stupid things so that we don't think about the important things. And then she gives us good grades to keep us happy. Miss Zarvez walked around the room. Very good, Virginia, she said. You're doing so well. Excellent. Excellent, Ray. Good job, Nick. She stopped when she got to Allison. Allison, why aren't you working? Allison looked at her. She knew Mark was right. Teachers are experts at finding ways to punish you. And if Miss Zarvez was the devil, who knew what she might have up her sleeve? Still, Allison had to take a chance. If she wanted to get back to Mrs. Jewell's class, she had to act as if she were in Mrs. Jewell's class. She took off her shoes and socks, sat on the floor, and sucked her toes. Allison, what are you doing? Asked Miss Zarvez. Allison took her toe out of her mouth. Get off my case, buzzard face, she said. Miss Zarvez was furious. Return to your desk, young lady, she ordered. Allison returned to her desk, but instead of sitting at it, she climbed on top of it and sang a song. I got one sock looking for the other, one sock looking for its brother. When I find that sock, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it on my foot and I'll stick it in my shoe. Mark Miller smiled at her, silently clapping his hands. Everyone else looked at her like she was crazy. Your socks are on the floor next to your shoes, Miss Zarvez said coldly. I'll give you 10 seconds to put them on your feet. 10, 9, 8, 7. Allison climbed down from her desk. She picked up her socks, put them on her ears. How's this? She asked. 6, 5, 4. Albert Einstein didn't wear socks, said Allison. Why should I? 3, 2. Allison closed her eyes. 1. She felt something slammed down on her foot. Something else jammed into her stomach. She grunted as she fell and rolled down 3 steps. Are you alright? Asked Dee Dee. Huh? Said Allison. She was on the stairs somewhere between the 18th and the 20th stories. Sorry, said Ron. I didn't see you. Dee Dee and I were racing up the stairs, and then you suddenly appeared. You knocked off her shoes and socks, exclaimed Dee Dee. Oh, I ripped your windbreaker too, said Ron. I'm sorry. That's okay, said Allison. She picked up her shoes and socks, raced you up the stairs. All three ran up to Mrs. Jewell's room. When they got there, they were so pooped they sat with their hands flat on their desk and their tongues hanging out. Hey, Allison, said Rondi. Allison raised her head. Hi, Rondi, she said, happily. What did I miss while I was absent? When were you absent? Asked Rondi. Hey, how come you're not wearing shoes and socks? Allison hung her socks from her ears. What do you think? She asked. It's the new look. Rondi laughed. Allison, said Mrs. Jewels, you seem to have a bad case of the sillies this morning. Allison giggled. Jason entered the room carrying a glass bowl with a goldfish swimming inside in it. Look what I brought, he said. What's the name of your goldfish? Asked Mrs. Jewels. Shark, said Jason. Everybody laughed. It makes him feel important, Jason explained. Where should I put him? How about on top of the coat closet, suggested Mrs. Jewels. Jason had a stand on a chair on his tippy toes. He held the bowl at the very bottom as he tried to nudge it over the edge of the closet. Allison turned around to watch. She didn't want to miss this. Alright, chapter 20, 21, and 22. All in one. And it's called Eric, and Derek. Mr. Kidswater's voice crackled over the loudspeaker. Mr. Jewels, send Eric to my office at once. He sounded mad. Mrs. Jewels was confused. When did we get a loudspeaker? She asked. Louis put it in yesterday, said Jenny. Mrs. Jewels was still confused. There were 3 Erics in her class. She didn't know which one Mr. Kidswater meant. Eric Fry was fat but not short. Eric Bacon was short but not fat. Eric Ovens was short and fat. Mrs. Jewels chose the biggest, Eric Fry. Mr. Kidswater wants to see you. Eric Fry trembled as he slowly stood up. The other 2 Erics smiled. The principal's office was on the first floor. It was not far, Eric thought as he headed down to his doom. Anytime Eric does anything wrong, I'm the one who gets in trouble. He stood in front of the principal's door. His heart beat very fast. He took a couple of breaths, then knocked the lightning. Enter! Boomed Mr. Kidswater. Eric turned the doorknob. He took one step inside, then stood with his back against the wall, as far away from Mr. Kidswater as he could. Mr. Kidswater sat behind an enormous desk. He wore mirrored sunglasses so Eric could tell where he was looking. Sit down, Eric, he said. Eric moved to the small metal chair in front of the desk. A bare light bulb hung above his head. Mr. Kidswater cracked his knuckles. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way, he said. It's your choice. I don't know what you're talking about, said Eric. I didn't do anything. So it's the hard way it is, asked Mr. Kidswater. Very well, your talk. One way or another, you told me everything I want to know. But Mr. Kidswater pounded his fist on the desk. When was the last time you sharpened your pencil? Eric tried to remember, but he was too nervous to think. Wait, let me think. He stammered. We had a spelling test on Friday, but I borrowed. Where were you yesterday afternoon at 12:15? Asked Mr. Kidswater. Yesterday? Asked Eric. I was here at Wayside School. I remember I ate lunch, then I played kickball. Mr. Kidswater smiled. Do you kick with your left foot? He asked. No, I'm right-footed, said Eric. Grumbled Mr. Kidswater. Have you ever gotten your hair cut at Charlie's barber shop? Yes, said Eric, 2 weeks ago. Aha, said Mr. Kidswater. So you admit it. Do you know what a mugworm griblick is? Eric turned pale. No, please, he begged. I didn't do it. I'm innocent. You've got the wrong Eric. There are 2 other Erics in my class. Mr. Kidswater scowled. So, that's the way you're gonna play it, is it? Well, that's fine with me. I got all the time in the world. He flipped on the microphone. Mrs. Jewels, send me another Eric. 29 floors above them, Mrs. Jewels looked at the two remaining Erics. Okay, Eric Evans, she said. Eric Evans shivered. His eyes filled with tears. Why me, he asked himself over and over again as he walked down the stairs. It's my parents' fault. Why did they have to name me Eric? Why couldn't they name me Osgood? He tapped on the door to the principal's office. Come in, bellowed Mr. Kidswater. Eric Evans grumbled, then walked inside. He sat in the little chair in front of Mr. Kidswater's enormous desk. Eric Fry was nowhere to be seen. What happened to Eric Fry? He asked. I'll ask the questions, barked Mr. Kidswater. But don't worry, Eric, he said gently. You have nothing to fear, so as long as you tell the truth. He cracked his knuckles. Eric Evans was very scared. Mrs. Jewels always said that there was more than one answer to every question. He hoped he gave Mr. Kidswater the right ones. Did you have a spelling test last Friday? Mr. Kidswater asked. Yes, said Eric Evans. How did you know that? I have my ways, Mr. Kidswater said shyly, behind his mirrored glasses. When was the last time you sharpened your pencil? This morning, said Evan Evans. Maricia accidentally stepped on it. Did you play kickball yesterday at 12:15? No, I played tetherball. Right or left-handed? Right. Mr. Kidswater tossed a stapler at him. Eric caught it with his right hand. Mr. Kidswater scowled. Okay, Eric, tell me this. Have you ever gotten your hair cut at Charlie's barbershop? No, but I will. I'll go right now if you want. You're not going anywhere, shouted Mr. Kidswater. Have you ever heard of a mugworm griblet? Eric Evans screamed. Upstairs, Mrs. Jewels heard Mr. Kidswater's voice resound over the loudspeaker. Mrs. Jewels, send me the last Eric. On my way, said Eric Bacon. He hopped out of his chair and bounced down the stairs. He didn't bother knocking on Mr. Kidswater's door. He just walked in. What can I do for you? He asked. There was no sign of Eric Evans. Have a seat, said Mr. Kidswater. I just want to ask you a few questions. Sure thing, said Eric Bacon. He sat in the little chair. He leaned back with his hands behind his head and his feet up on Mr. Kidswater's desk. He looked at himself in Mr. Kidswater's mirrored glasses, took a comb out of his back pocket, and combed his hair. His hair was very neat and trimmed. He had gotten it cut yesterday at 12:15 at Charlie's barbershop. Mr. Kidswater cracked his knuckles. When's the last time you sharpened your pencil? He asked. November 11th, Eric Bacon answered right away. It was 3 minutes before the 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I remember because my watch stopped. Where were you yesterday at 12:15? I was in the garden having tea. Did Maricia step on somebody's pencil this morning? Asked Mr. Kidswater. Yes. Whose? She stepped on everybody's pencil, said Eric Bacon. Are you left-handed or right-handed? Demanded Mr. Kidswater. I write with my left foot, and I kick with my right hand, replied Eric. Mr. Kidswater scowled. Have you ever gotten your hair cut at Charlie's barbershop? No, I never get my hair cut there, said Eric. I'm bald. This is a wig. Mr. Kidswater took off his glasses and glared at him. Do the words mugworm griblet mean anything to you? Eric Bacon shook his head. I can look it up in the dictionary if you want. Mr. Kidswater shook his head. I tried that. He said it's not there. He rubbed his chin. Okay, boys, you can come out now. Eric Evans and Eric Fry crawled out from under the desk. Mr. Kidswater looked at each of Eric. One of you is lying, he said. I don't know who it is, but I'll find out. And when I do, whoever it is will be very sorry. I'll give you one last chance. Come clean. Eric Fry trembled. Eric Evans shivered. Come on, let's blow this popsicle stand, said Eric Bacon. He walked out of the room. The other two Erics followed. Mr. Kidswater rubbed the back of his neck. He looked at the white card on top of his desk. On one side it said, Charlie's Barbershop. Under that in blue ink it said, Eric, Tuesday, 12:15. He turned the card over. On the other side, a left-handed person had written with the sharp pencil, Mr. Kidswater is a mugworm griblet. Chapter 23. Teeth. Something terrible happened. Rondi grew 2 new front teeth. Rondi was afraid nobody would think she was cute anymore. Mrs. Jewels was giving a health lesson. Always brush your teeth, she said, and remember to scrub behind your ears. But I'll get toothpaste in my ear, explained Todd. Everyone laughed except Rondi. She didn't want anybody to see her teeth. She hadn't smiled for a week. Mrs. Jewels made Todd write his name on the board under the word discipline. At recess, Rondi decided to tell Louis her problem. Louis was talking to Dee Dee. Do you have any green balls left? Asked Dee Dee. I'm sorry, I've given them all away, said Louis. That's not fair, said Dee Dee. Why didn't you even save one for me? You know, I can't do that, said Louis. If I save a ball for you, then all the other kids will want me to save a ball for them too. Thanks for nothing, Louis, said Dee Dee. She stormed. It was Rondi's turn. She made sure nobody else was listening. Louis, will you help me? She whispered. Sure, Rondi. What's the problem? Asked Louis. Rondi smiled, showing Louis her teeth. Very nice, said Louis. And listen to this, said Rondi. She sells seashells by the seashore. Very good, said Louis. No, it isn't, complained Rondi. I used to whistle when I said words with the S's in them. Now nobody will think I'm cute. I think you're cute, said Louis. You don't count, said Rondi. Well, thanks a lot, said Louis. I didn't mean it bad, said Rondi. You think everyone's cute, even Miss Mush. That's why I like you. Thank you, Rondi. I like you too. Thank you, said Rondi. Will you please kick me in the teeth? No, said Louis. Why not? Asked Rondi. You said you liked me. If you liked me, you'd kick me in the teeth. No, I can't, said Louis. If I kick you in the teeth, then all the other kids will want me to kick them in the teeth too. Rondi scowled. Thanks for nothing, Louis, she said. She crawled into the bushes where nobody would be able to see her mouth. Louis, shouted Stephen and Jason as they ran towards him. Terrence stole our ball, said Jason. I wish you children would learn to share, said Louis. Make him give it back, said Stephen. Louis started to say something, then stopped. He twirled his multicolored mustache. Hey, Rondi, he called. Will you help me? Rondi crawled out of the bushes. You won't help me, she said. Why should I help you? Terrence stole their ball, said Louis. Make him give it back. Her? Asked Stephen and Jason. Me? Asked Rondi. Louis winked at her. Rondi's eyes lit up. Okay, Louis, she said. That's a good idea. That's a wonderful idea. She hurried across the playground. Stephen and Jason ran after her. Terrence kicked the red ball up into the air and then ran under it and caught it. Hey, Terrence, said Rondi. That's not your ball. You stole it. Drop dead, catcher's head, said Terrence. Rondi walked up to him, stared him straight in the eyes, and said, In your hat, muskrat. That surprised Terrence. He took a step back. He collected himself and said, Dig a hole, Milky Mole. Rondi took another step toward him. Kiss a goose, Dr. Seuss, she replied. Terrence looked around. A group of kids had formed a circle around him. Go to jail, garbage pail, he said. Rondi held her ground. Go to the zoo, Mr. Magoo, she returned. Everyone was very impressed at how brave Rondi was. Now give me the ball, she demanded. You want it? Asked Terrence. I'll give it to you, all right. He raised his fist in the air. Good, let me have it, said Rondi. She smiled, showing him her two new teeth. Terrence shook his fist at her. You're asking for it, he said. That's right, said Rondi. I am. Her teeth gleamed at him. Terrence brought his fist way back behind his head. Rondi closed her eyes. Hey, look, exclaimed BB. Rondi got new teeth. They're cute, said Jenny. Rondi opened her eyes. You think so, she asked. No, you were cuter before, said Paul. I think she's cuter now, said Todd. They took a vote. 12 kids thought she looked cuter with her two new teeth, and 12 thought she looked cuter before. 3 thought she should keep just one tooth. So Rondi decided to keep her teeth. They were good for biting carrots. Uh-oh, she suddenly remembered. She ducked just in time.